Admittedly, it has been a long while since I've worn a Wilson tennis shoe. The last shoes I tried from Wilson was the Wilson Chaos, and not only was it awful, it was awful. As a tennis consumer, I'd never really thought of any Wilson tennis shoe as being made for serious tennis players. They were more like freebies that the company reps give out to pros along with the more serious equipment from Wilson. The tennis rackets, and maybe even the strings from Luxlon. I was lucky enough to have someone from my Discord server gift me a pair of the Wilson Pro Rush version 4s. But before we get started, hit like, hit subscribe, and hit notification bell for more original tennis content. This is the Wilson Rush Pro version 4 tennis shoe review. This shoe required no break-in period, and truthfully, these shoes felt light for being listed at 13.9 ounces for a 10.5 US men's size. And also, it was really damn comfortable. It felt more like a sub 12 ounce if I were to be honest. Also, the grip of this shoe was insane. I could never really break the traction between the shoes and the hardcourt no matter how much I tried. But more on this later if this is actually a pro or con. Spoiler, it's a con. Also, for being listed at $135, and right now, all of these are on sale from what I can see online. With the 6-month durability guarantee, this is an absolute bargain of a tennis shoe for most people. But before I give it my blessing, let's talk about the negatives for the shoe because it is far from perfect. First of all, I didn't like the lacing design of the shoe. The laces were positioned too close to each other when laced up, so I didn't feel the shoe was hugging the top of my foot comfortably. The pressure, which should be somewhat evenly distributed on the top of the feet, were concentrated on the middle top of my foot. In turn, this made lifting my feet and landing on the hard court suddenly feel very off. In fact, take a look at this example where I almost broke my own ankle, set point down against my good friend Alex. So by comparison, it's much easier to see how much wider the lacing system is off the Gel Resolution 9, which is a fantastic shoe. Probably the best update that I've ever had the pleasure of reviewing in terms of tennis shoes. I'll leave a link to that in this corner if you guys haven't checked it out already. But it's so much more narrow, this lacing system, compared to the Gel Resolution 9. So tennis shoe manufacturers, or I would argue most athletic wear for shoe manufacturing, have a wider base in terms of the lacing system to have a more comfortable feel, especially when picking up off of an aggressive shot or an aggressive move, like on a basketball court or tennis court. But yeah, just want to show you that. I just wanted to show that to you guys. So this is what it looks like when it's fully laced up. Keep in mind, I do have slightly narrow feet, but nothing too drastic. But I just don't like how this is just way too close when it's laced up. I would think, and I would suggest for Wilson or any manufacturer to not have it this close, but have it maybe space out a 1/4 inch wider on both sides to have a more classic feel. In fact, let me show you what my Gel Resolution 9s look like when laced up properly to this manner. So by comparison, it's much easier to see how much wider the lacing system is off the Gel Resolution 9, which is a fantastic shoe. Probably the best update that I've ever had the pleasure of reviewing in terms of tennis shoes. I'll leave a link to that in this corner if you guys haven't checked it out already. But it's so much more narrow, this lacing system, compared to the Gel Resolution 9. So tennis shoe manufacturers, or I would argue most athletic wear for shoe manufacturing, have a wider base in terms of the lacing system to have a more comfortable feel, especially when picking up off of an aggressive shot or an aggressive move, like on a basketball court or tennis court. But yeah, just want to show you that. I just wanted to show that to you guys. Second, this was not a stable shoe for aggressive cuts. Yes, part of it was because of the shit lacing system that I just mentioned, but there was something lacking in the ankle support for me to feel safe when taking aggressive cuts on the tennis court. Third, this top of the shoe felt mushy and unsupportive. It sometimes felt like I was wearing flip-flops on the tennis court. I wouldn't be surprised if some excessive toe draggers actually made holes on the top of these shoes. Lastly, although this had a Gorilla Grip traction, I actually hated the fact that I couldn't slide. Any hardcore tennis shoe I try, I'm actually expecting to give some after 3 hours of use for hardcore sliding due to my footwork on the singles tennis court. This grip was borderline dangerous on the court for my sliding expectations.
Overall, this shoe from Wilson was a surprise to me, albeit that I have negative expectations to begin with. But enough about me. Have you guys tried this shoe? What do you guys think? Did I at least pique your interest with the shoe because not only the low price point, but the 6-month durability guarantee? Let me know in the comments down section below, or better yet, join my Discord where over 1,500 people are talking about all things tennis and Camila. This shoe playtest was over 10 hours on court. I have flat feet and I have size 9.5 US and I use Super Feet as my insole. And as always guys, happy hitting.